So I don't know if you've heard, but me and all the other self-help girlies are in our winter arc, which means we are getting ahead of everyone else that is waiting for January 1st to start hitting their goals. And here are 8 hot girl mindset shifts that you need to know for your winter arc that will completely transform your life. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Growth will only come from you doing the things that you don't really feel like doing. You know, you don't want to wake up at the butt crack of dawn to go work out. You probably don't feel like closing out your TikTok app to go study for your exam. But doing those uncomfortable things is the only way you will actually grow.
You're like a specially trained super agent. You know that?
So I got a question, and I'm fairly certain one of you has it too. What in the fudging HE double hockey sticks is a winter arc? What is it about these XX chromosome content creators making everything sound as pointlessly epic as possible? Everything is about energy or being in an arc or becoming an era. And none of it really matters. It doesn't matter what language you use. Your winter will be just as boring and uneventful regardless if it's an era, an arc, or a divine epoch of feminine tarot cycle. You're not gonna do anything. If you did, that would require work. And we all know that if there's one thing that makes you vomit worse than a meal you cook yourself, it's the idea that you have to work to make something happen. I can already hear the excuses. You're on your period, so you don't want to do anything. There's just too many gym creepers, so you feel unsafe. And the patriarchy invented winter and is going to prevent you from reaching your defined feminine boss bay yas queen potential because it's too cold. There is no excuse that is too pathetic for you to use to avoid taking accountability for your actions, or lack thereof in this case.
To live a life that you've never lived, you have to start doing things that you've never done. If you are currently unhappy with your life right now, you will forever be stuck in that place unless you start showing up for yourself. Your energy is currency, so stop giving it to people that drain the F out of you. Those people thrive off of your energy supply. So be selective and put all that energy into bettering yourself. Rejection is redirection. Not every loss is a loss. Everything is going to work out for you, and whatever is meant for you will find you. The cost of procrastination is the life that you could have lived.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
Your energy is currency? God, what kind of energy are we talking about here? What's the exchange rate between the divine feminine with the holy masculine? Does the rate fluctuate from jurisdiction to jurisdiction? And will all services actually honor your currency? These are some serious questions because you spend your energy currency the same way you spend your actual currency, as frivolously and as impulsively as humanly possible. You'd rather have that quick rush of immediate gratification than put in the work for something that might last longer. That's why you're single and just about to fail out of freshman dodgeball finals. And with the state of your age and the inability to mature to what needs to be done, my guess is you're going to end up dealing with a rate cut while your energy gets more and more worthless. You should have backed your energy by something that is market stable, like, you know, doing something more than just making generic motivational speeches that you can find at your garden variety synergy convention, instead of backing it with empty promises and fairy tale dreams.
Only take advice from people that have the life that you want. If you want to start posting on social media, stop listening to that hater girl in your class that is making fun of you. She does not have the life that you want. Only listen to advice from people that are in the position that you want to be in. Excuses make today easier, but tomorrow harder. And finally, your best investment will always be yourself. Lock in these next few months and you will become the best version of yourself. So if you're currently in or want to start your winter arc, comment down below, locked in, so that we can hold each other accountable, hype each other up. I'm actually gonna be sharing my winter arc journey on TikTok, so go ahead and follow me so we can stay accountable together. Bye.
Nope. That would be a waste of time.
I've come to notice that 99% of the advice that you get from people who are in the situation that you want will typically fall into 3 categories. The first, and most likely, they will tell you to do something because it's fun, not because it'll net you a profit. That way you never work a day in your life. The second one, they'll threaten to call the cops if you don't stop bothering them. And the last one will give you advice, but only if you pay for their seminar. Now that's not to say there aren't people who won't give you advice. Far from it. But what good is that advice if you don't have any dreams? This generation loves to talk about their dreams and their wants and their goals, but you ever notice that they never talk about anything specific? And that's because I have my sincere doubts that you actually have any, lady. And that's kind of a big reason why you're going nowhere fast with your life. Before you go and accomplish your goals in that winter arc of yours, you actually need some. It's an obscure technicality, but that doesn't make it any less true.
I know it, your family knows it. Dogs know it.
And now, a special television event.
This segment was brought to you by the Bounty Board on Patreon. David Small asks, which alien was responsible for the concept of feminism? I figured it had to be an alien. No human could come up with such a stupid idea. Anyway, this evil alien sold girls the idea of not having babies, thus suppressing their prime drive to work for an uncaring boss at a soulless corporation to enrich CEOs for the rest of their lives. The alien sold it to Congress because it would mean more taxes collected, and then established rags like Ms. and Cosmopolitan to keep a steady flow of propaganda up. Such an alien deserves the wrath of Blow-Blow-Bachard, all hail. Thus my question, what alien did this? Oh god, gotta talk about this jerk. The alien you're referring to goes by the name of Tarmald Ryblex of Hirtoshi Romulan. He fancies himself this intergalactic space prankster, but he's really just a dick. You ever have that friend who loves to pull practical jokes on everybody, but they get so out of hand and everyone just hates them, but he's the only one who thinks he's hilarious? Yeah, imagine that, but on a universal scale. He's always showing up to planets and able to charm his ways into the upper echelons of power, and the next thing you know, civil war, political unrest, and coups d'etats all over the known universe. His second most famous blunder is when he put laxatives in the spacesuit of King Midashar of New Yolicon 7's wedding. You gotta understand something about this. This wedding was a momentous event because it was supposed to unite two rival factions that have been fighting for centuries over the ownership of some cheese rights, and we are talking about some really good cheese here. So a lot of people were invested in this wedding. King Midashar ended up crapping his pants so violently that it was considered to be an all-out declaration of war, which ended with the planet self-destructing and cutting off a major supplier of cheese to the universe, which pissed off everybody, but Tarmald couldn't stop laughing about it. He was laughing so hard that he wasn't paying attention when he was flying his cruiser and ended up crashing his ship into Roswell, New Mexico of all places. Upon being apprehended by the government, he befriended a whole bunch of military personnel, bunch of Congress people, 99% of the CIA, not to mention the friggin' president, and he was able to convince them that if they could convince an entire generation of entitled, spoiled brats to stop breeding and do stuff that was counterintuitive to their biological nature, then that would be the key to global domination. And the next thing you know, the stupid damn hippies became a thing. That wasn't all. He got involved with everything. Newspaper publications, food distribution, and don't even get me started on what that jagoff did to the movie industry. You remember that Ninja Turtles movie where they turned April O'Neil into a short, fat, black lesbian? Yeah, that was all Tarmald's idea, and it didn't stop there either. The Witcher, Lord of the Rings, Star Trek V, he had a hand in all of it. And the only thing that wasn't his idea was that whole Bud Light fiasco, but he still takes credit for it because he's not only a jackass, he's also a thief. So now, Earth is pretty much screwed and Tarmald Ryblex is still out there, giggling and planning his next big prank, and the space cops can't touch him. Every time they arrest this guy, his charm is so powerful that not only do the cops let him go, but they end up paying him to leave. So effectively, the cops are fronting the bill with my tax dollars so that smarmy footbucker can topple intergalactic space governments for a chuckle. And there is only one man who has the power and the resources to stop him, and I know for a fact that he has been fighting tirelessly to rid the universe of this red-scaled piece of garbage. And who is this paragon of justice, you might ask? You guessed it, Frank Stallone's third biggest fan, Vanilla Ice himself. Yeah, that's right, the inventor of the ninja rap is currently the only man that's fighting for intergalactic space justice when it comes to the jerk known as Tarmald Ryblex. So I think we need to take a second and give Vanilla Ice our thanks. All hail! Thanks again to David Small for asking the question, and if you like this kind of content, then you should head on over to the bounty board on Patreon. For $5 a month, you get exclusive access to Tales from the Lockverse, as well as some other videos, and for $15, you can ask me any question you want, and I'll gladly turn it into an entire segment for you on this channel. The link to the Patreon is in the pinned comment down below. Thank you so much for your support, gentlemen and gents. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So if you can support the channel in any way, including liking, subscribing, sharing the video, I would greatly appreciate it because you guys are absolutely fantastic. So thanks again. All hail.
Hey guys, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna break down just how expensive it is to be a woman in today's day and age. It's important to keep in mind that I'm a woman in my 30s, so I don't represent all women everywhere, and also I live in Los Angeles, so things are obviously a little bit more expensive here than they are other places in the world. But this is just to give you a general idea. Okay, so let's start with my tier 1 of products that I use every single morning when I wake up. Let me know if you'd like an individual price breakdown, but this totals to about $650 in product. Next is my nighttime routine. These products total about $610. Again, happy to include a price breakdown per item for you, should you request it. Now on to hair products. So products alone, I'm gonna say are around $200 to $300, and then there's the actual tools. This blow dryer alone costs $300. Let me just point out that I did get that on sale, but still. So if we're talking the total of the tools, that's probably another $500 to $600 right there.
Congratulations!
Hey, let's rewind that for a second, sister, because I want to remind everybody about what you just said.
Let's see that in an instant replay.
Hey guys, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna break down just how expensive it is to be a woman in today's day and age.
Fun fact, if you search for women that make the individual decision to purchase thousands of dollars on makeup products, then you'd have enough aged out broads to fill at least 2 747 airliners to full capacity. There is literally nothing different about this video and the others that are posted on the exact same subject. Now, I get it. Your butt is aching because you spent the money you independently earned at your strong and independent boss bay Yas Queen job, and then, in the most stunning and brave of fashions, decided to independently make the decision to purchase the most obscenely expensive products in an obscenely expensive part of the country, and yet you're shocked to realize how things are so obscenely expensive. And on top of that, these items that you made the active and strong decision to independently purchase were only purchased because you clearly liked them and wanted them. They make you feel young and pretty. And the sad part is, insofar, these products have clearly failed on both accounts because, well, let's just say that the wall can explain a hell of a lot better than I ever could. Don't worry if you don't understand right now, sweet cheeks. You will eventually.
Of course, it's important to keep in mind that lots of these are one-time purchases. And most of the products last between 3 to 4 months. But these are still things that we have to pay for that you don't. Now let's talk about my face. The Botox that I get costs me about $250 every 3 to 4 months. The filler that I get costs me about $750 about once a year. Now let's talk about my body. That laser hair removal that I get, it costs me about $280 every 3 months. The spray tan that I'm getting later today is gonna cost me $60. And the Pilates class that I went to this morning cost me $30 or $200 a month for an unlimited membership.
And
Well, it's a shame that the thousands of dollars you're spending on cosmetics does absolutely nothing to make your personality appealing. The fact that you're keeping an active tally in such a condescending fashion just proves my point. You're trying to make the implication that your life is so much more harder than men because of makeup and your so-called beauty treatments. But here's what you're forgetting, sister. You live in a rich city, and you have a job that allows you to afford these things, and you still have enough money to cover the expenses that actually matter. And yet, you're sitting there complaining that your life is so hard because the things that make you want to feel better about yourself cost more money than you want to spend, and we need to compensate you in one way or another for that. Now, you're right, men do not have to deal with what you're dealing with. We just have to deal with societal judgment over every single one of our actions. We're also more likely to get screwed over by the justice system. Oh yeah, not to mention the blanket accusations that we're all nothing but a bunch of psychopathic manipulating murderers. But I guess none of those count because those things don't come with a price tag.
Oh shoot, and I almost forgot my manicures and pedicures. Yeah, so that's about $100 every 2 weeks. Oh, of course, and then there's makeup. Yeah, right. All that stuff, and there's way more of it too under my sink. It's hard for me to total all that up, but ballpark, and this is me being on the conservative end of things, I'd say it's about $1,000 worth of product, and that's just the stuff that I use every day. Please don't tell me, we're not the ones telling you to do all of that. Here's the thing, there's a lot of pressure to be hairless, tan, poreless, beautiful people. And you know who put those beauty standards in place? Men. You know who owns lots of those beauty companies and fashion companies and famous lingerie brands? Men. So if you're gonna tell me what I should wear and how I should look, the least you can do is buy me a drink.
no.
Well, if we're going there, you know who blindly accepts those societal beauty standards that are apparently established by men? Women. Do you know who's constantly talking about terrible life advice while applying their body weight in makeup? Women. Do you know who's so insecure with themselves that they feel the need to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to make herself feel pretty even though nobody asked her to do that? Women. There isn't a man alive who told you to spend 75% of your income on beauty products. You do that of your own volition because it makes you feel good about yourself. If you ask self-respecting men, they actually prefer a woman who doesn't feel the need to wear a boatload of makeup before going out to buy pre-workout powder. But you won't listen to them. It's just easier to blame us for your irresponsible spending habits. Like I said, you're a strong and independent boss baby ass queen who used the money she strongly and independently earned at her high-paying job to head to the store to buy a bunch of useless makeup to make her feel stunning and brave. So with all of that being said, if you're going to be this entitled and unpleasant, then the least you can do is leave us alone and buy your own damn drinks. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and make sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. And of course, a special shout out to the members of the Bounty Board. Thank you so much for your support in making this video possible today. If you're interested in joining, the link is in the pinned comment down below. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.